Kansas City just beat Buffalo in a wild, fun, crazy playoff game. It went to overtime. KC won 42-36, and this game felt like watching a video game. It just crazy play after crazy play, amazing finish. The way it came down to at the end, I got chills watching. It was awesome, and it made me think of back in the days in college when it was all of us in a dorm room. Two guys are playing Madden. There's like 5 people watching. We all are hanging out, and you go, oh, like you kind of get. Those were the days, man. Looking back at college, playing Madden in a dorm room, like 7 people crammed into a tiny room, sitting on like those college beds that are like bunk beds. Oh man, like such good times. And this game had that vibe. It made me want to play Madden again. We're just back and forth and a crazy finish. Now, no disrespect to Aaron Rodgers, but watching this game, I felt like I was watching the 2 best quarterbacks in the entire NFL. Josh Allen against Patrick Mahomes. They both made crazy throws. They both ran around and did crazy stuff and made play after play after play. And with this being the first year that doesn't have Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers in a championship game since 2009. Is it 2009 or 2011? It might be 2011. One of those years. It's been a long time. Like the last time Brett Favre was playing in a championship game the last time that didn't have Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. And this weekend really felt like a new era in the NFL, a new wave of young quarterbacks stepping up to the center of the stage. And here's what these 2 quarterbacks did. Josh Allen was 27 for 37 passing for 329 yards. He threw 4 touchdown passes, had 0 interceptions. He also ran 11 times for 68 yards. By the way, both quarterbacks in this game led their team in rushing. The leading rusher for Buffalo was Josh Allen. The leading rusher for Kansas City was Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes was 33 for 44 passing, 378 yards, 3 touchdown passes. He also ran 7 times for 69 yards, 1 more than Josh Allen, and he ran for a touchdown. And by the way, neither quarterback had a turnover. No picks, no fumbles, nothing. It was incredible quarterback play. And it felt like watching a game of Madden. It was unbelievable football. And to me, this was the final straw. I've been kind of teetering on the edge for quite a while. I said that Josh Allen was closing in on elite status. I think I said that last week. I want to make a statement here. Josh Allen is an elite quarterback. The way he ended this year, putting up performance after performance after performance, like that's elite quarterback play. And something clicked for him at the end of the year. I don't know what happened, but he was good all year, and then just at the end of the year, man, he just got better and better and better. And I cannot wait to watch the guy next year. Like, oh my gosh, he's an elite quarterback. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I love the guy. He's awesome. He's so fun to watch, and I'm heartbroken that he lost. Now, the way this game ended was crazy. There's some controversy. We'll get into that in a moment. But the final 2 minutes of this game, there were 25 points scored in less than 2 minutes. 3 touchdowns and a field goal, and a 2-point conversion by Buffalo. And, Buffalo scored the go-ahead touchdown on a 4th and 13. It was crazy. They went for 2. They got it. Josh Allen ran around, made a play, threw for the 2-point conversion. Then Kansas City responded with a 64-yard touchdown to Tyreek Hill. Then, KC went up 33-29. By the way, Tyreek Hill, shout out to him. He had 11 catches for 150 yards and a touchdown. And then I thought Buffalo won the game. Buffalo put together a good drive. The Bills threw a touchdown with 13 seconds left in the game. They took a 36-33 lead. And you would think, hey, you got a 3-point lead, 13 seconds left in the game. Like, hey, it's one thing if you leave a minute on the clock for Patrick Mahomes. You go, hey, you left way too much time on the clock for Mr. Patty Mahomes. But you would think, hey, Patrick Mahomes cannot score in 13 seconds. Then he did. And it wasn't like Buffalo had some crazy, awful pass interference penalty or anything like that. No. Pat Mahomes just did his thing. He had 2 completions, 2 plays, 44 yards in 10 seconds. There were 13 seconds on the clock. There were 3 seconds left when the Chiefs lined up for their game-winning field goal. 19-yard pass to Tyreek Hill, and then a 25-yard pass to Travis Kelce. And look, for example, that is why you save 3 timeouts for the end of the game, so that you can throw the ball freely over the middle, not have to worry about trying to. Imagine if they threw that ball to Travis Kelce with 3 seconds left, had to run up and try to clock it. It wouldn't have worked. They would have had to throw a Hail Mary there. So that is a testament to the Kansas City's coaching staff and their discipline and organization and not needing to burn a timeout earlier in the game. So, look, KC tied it with a field goal at the end of the game. They got the ball first in overtime. They got a touchdown. They won. Game over. So, first of all, great win for Kansas City. I mean, look, they're probably going to win another Super Bowl. It's going to be I'm very excited. I think my prediction now is that we're going to get Rams against Kansas City in the Super Bowl, and that sounds wild and fun. Obviously, though, the way that KC won this game in overtime, getting the ball first, it was basically whoever got the ball first won the game. It led to a debate about the NFL overtime rules. I'm here for it. I thought it sucked that Josh Allen did not get the ball in overtime with a chance to respond. Again, it was basically whoever got the ball first won the football game. Now, my stance on NFL overtime is slowly evolving because I've always said, hey, look, you had 4 quarters to try and win the game. If you couldn't get it done in an hour of football, 4 quarters, then you aren't necessarily entitled to getting the ball at the end of the game. Like, you're not entitled to a possession at the end if you couldn't win in 4 quarters. You had your chance. And that's really easy to say when it's a regular season game and it's like Pittsburgh tying against Detroit, something like that, right? Whatever that is. It feels kind of cruel to say that at the end of the year in a playoff game that ends the season of one team, not the other. And look, Buffalo, to their credit, it's not like you can point to the one thing Buffalo did wrong and go, well, you know what? They did this or that. No. Buffalo did basically everything they could. They were 4 for 4 on 4th down. They had 2 touchdowns on 4th down. They went for touchdowns, not field goals. They did not settle for field goals. They realized, hey, it's very serious. We got to go for it on 4th down if we're going to beat this juggernaut Kansas City. And they had 0 turnovers. Like, you can't point to the moment where you're like, hey, Buffalo screwed up here or there. Or that they played great down the stretch. They took every opportunity they could. That's a tough pill to swallow. Like, I don't know what to say there. I mean, you could argue, and a lot of people do, that defense is part of the game. And, the Bills had opportunities to stop KC. They could have stopped them on defense at the end of the 4th quarter or in overtime. Defense is a big part of the game. It's, 33%, either special teams, offense and defense. But it's an offensive-driven league. I mean, the rules are literally set up for offenses to succeed. And at minimum, we can all agree the rules are skewed towards offensive football. And for Josh Allen to not get a possession at the end of the game, I think at minimum it would have been really good television. Was it unfair? I didn't like it. I wasn't enjoying not seeing the other team get a chance to respond. Maybe we could just adjust the overtime rules maybe in the playoffs and Super Bowl. We don't need it in the regular season, fine, although I would love to get rid of ties. I absolutely hate ties in the NFL. But I just don't like seeing a season end that way, where it basically ends on a coin toss. There is a problem there, though, with, okay, so if Kansas City gets the ball first, they score a touchdown, then Buffalo gets the ball with an opportunity to respond. In theory, that could go on forever. Like, at some point, you got to cut that off because it felt like watching these two teams could have scored all night. And you don't want a game that goes on for 4 hours, touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. Like, at what point do you call it and say, hey, like, this is the last opportunity? So, I don't know. There has to be a cutoff. I don't know the answer here. But again, it would have been amazing TV to see Josh Allen get the ball at the end with an opportunity to respond. I would like to see the NFL make some kind of change to their overtime rules. I don't have the answers here. I don't know what that looks like, but that's why they're paid tons of money to figure that out. And again, while we're at it, can we please get rid of ties? Because I hate when games end in a tie. It just is like, it's so frustrating. Now, we've addressed that. I don't know what the answer is, but I really would have liked to see Josh Allen get the ball at the end. I want to give a shout out to both offensive coordinators, Brian Daboll with the Bills, Eric Bieniemy with Kansas City. They are unreal. The play calling in this football game, look, these are two good defensive coordinators in Kansas City and Buffalo. Leslie Frazier, what's the guy? I'm blanking on the guy's name. He coached for the Rams. Steve Spagnuolo in Kansas City. I knew his name. I did know it. I just couldn't remember for a second. These are good defensive coordinators that might become head coaches. And look, Brian Dable and Eric Bieniemy were dialing up great play call after great play call after great play calls. It was kind of headache-inducing to watch. It was like, this is just amazing offensive football. And I think both guys, Brian Dable and Eric Bieniemy, are going to become probably head coaches during this offseason. I would be shocked if Brian Dable didn't leave. And I want to give a special shout-out to the Kansas City offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy, because the Chiefs' offense does so many different things. There was a play where it was 4th down, and they ran play action and then like a sprint right where Mahomes flipped the ball to Jerick McKinnon. I don't even know how to describe that play. It was crazy play design. Or think of how many times watching Kansas City this year you saw Blake Bell or Travis Kelce take a snap under center or in the shotgun at quarterback. Or all these crazy screens and looks and the wild play designs. I mean, the underhand flips. Like, they do so many different things and have so many multiple looks in Kansas City. And really what that's a testament to is great coaching. I got to give credit to Eric Bieniemy, because it's one thing to have cool ideas. Like, you can draw up a good idea on paper. A lot of people can go, what if we did this and what if we did that? I think of, in Dallas a little while ago where they tried to run a trick play where you threw a slant and the receiver's crossing the field, then threw a lateral back across the other side of the field. And it's one thing to call it. It's another thing to actually execute the play at a high level. Kansas City, to their credit, not only do they call a lot of crazy, wild, impressive different looks, but they execute them at a really, really high level. And that is a testament to the discipline and the great coaching in Kansas City, especially with Eric Bieniemy. That's executing at a really high level. And I really, really respect and admire what's gone on in Kansas City this year, especially with the way they call plays and the way they execute those kind of crazy plays they call. Now, I want to give a tip of my cap to Buffalo, because I am so hoping that this is wishful thinking. I would love to see Brian Dable stay at Buffalo. Their offensive coordinator. Here's what I'm begging. Do not leave a good gig you got going in Buffalo for a crappy head coaching job somewhere else. You got a good job security, and Buffalo is so close to a Super Bowl. Like, you can feel it. If they got the ball in overtime, they probably would have won that game and would probably be the Super Bowl favorite right now. I mean, they're a coin flip away from potentially going to a Super Bowl. And so all I ask is, Brian Dable, do not leave for, I don't know, I'm trying to think of what a crappy job is, but don't leave for a crappy job. I'm begging you. You got a good thing in Buffalo, and man, they are better with him calling plays. And I would be so heartbroken if Brian Dable left and Josh Allen took a step backward and Buffalo was a little bit farther from a Super Bowl. I just don't want that to happen. Josh Allen's amazing. It feels like no matter who's calling plays, he's going to do incredible stuff, because his ability to ad-lib and extend plays and do wild stuff, it's unprecedented. But it was really, really fun to watch Buffalo this year, and especially to watch the progression of Josh Allen. Now, despite the loss, I got to give a shout out to Bills receiver Gabriel Davis. Oh my goodness. This guy had probably, I don't know how he played in high school. I'm sure he was dominant in high school, but he had the game of his life. In the playoffs, on the road, in Kansas City, he had 8 catches for 201 yards and 4 touchdowns. He had 6 touchdown catches all year during the regular season. Like, what? Good for him. And a lot of people were bagging on Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs had like 3 catches for 7 yards. And like, oh, the Stephon Diggs revenge game didn't live up to the hype. All this talk and all this buildup for him to do nothing. The reason why Stephon Diggs did nothing is because it was the Gabriel Davis show. He was open all night. He was making play after play. He got all 4 of Josh Allen's touchdown passes. It's only a shame that Gabriel Davis did this in a loss. I wish I could have said, and the hero was Gabriel Davis. We couldn't do that, and that's sad. It's also a shame that these two quarterbacks both play in the AFC, because a Josh Allen against Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl would be crazy. It'd be so much fun to watch. Can you imagine if that kind of game we just saw was in February in a Super Bowl? And to me, like, the same way that Brady and Manning never played against each other in a Super Bowl, because they were both usually meeting in the AFC title game, Colts and Patriots, and then eventually Denver and Patriots too. This is the new Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning. Now it's Josh Allen against Patrick Mahomes, and they will likely play each other on the road to a Super Bowl for years to come. And the future's bright. It's a new era in the NFL, and this is the future. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, the way they play, it's different. It's no longer Peyton Manning in the pocket, unable to move. It's no longer Tom Brady without the ability to extend plays. No, these guys are different, and they're better. They're just unbelievable to watch, and what a fun playoff game this was between Buffalo and Kansas City. Shout out to Kansas City. They're going to be awesome. I think they might win the Super Bowl. I would not be shocked at all if they pulled that off. And it wouldn't even be pulling it off. It would be yep. I remember earlier this year writing off Kansas City because I said, look, the way they're playing now isn't going to work. The defense was struggling, and Patrick Mahomes was, man, he was a gunslinger. And I've said it multiple times throughout the year. We have seen an evolution of Patrick Mahomes where he's no longer just the guy. He still is making crazy plays. He had a throw on the run where he dipped his shoulder, threw a sidearm pass underneath the defender's arm for a first down. He does crazy stuff still. He runs for first downs. He 3rd and 6 was his game all night. 3rd and 6, another Patrick Mahomes run for a first down. It was uncanny. But the difference for Patrick Mahomes this year is that, and he had to learn this because early on he wasn't doing this. We saw an evolution here. When teams went too high safeties and played soft coverage, they would double team Travis Kelce, they'd double team Tyreek Hill. They would give him a check down underneath, and he started taking the check down and taking what the defense gave him underneath. And that's an evolution in his game. A little more patience, a little more maturity. And the fact that Patrick Mahomes has figured that out now, oh, man. What an impressive thing he's done. And the fact that you can say honestly, hey, Patrick Mahomes got even better this year in 2021. That's a terrifying thought. And I would not be surprised at all. In fact, I kind of expect it. I expect Kansas City to win the Super Bowl. I openly rooting for Rams against Kansas City in the Super Bowl. I want Matthew Stafford, that high-powered offense, that really good defense with Von Miller and Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. I want that team to play against Kansas City because I think that's the best, most fun matchup. And just look, at this point, KC should be the favorite. They really should be. And it's just impressive. I hope Tyrann Mathieu, I don't know what's going on with him. I hope he's healthy enough to play in the future. But, well done by Kansas City.